This is J. Mueller's Funeral Home, 1401 South Union, the policy, regulation, and service. You got Rest Haven, Glendale, Member Glen, Forest Lawn, Roseville, Parkhurst. These are headstones, plots, and policy. J. Mueller's Funeral Home, 1401 South Union. Amy Mueller, Jim Mueller from Kennewick, Chapel Falls. Owner and brother and biological family members of J. Mueller's Funeral Home. We got Rest Haven and Decoration Services. Now, McKen Law Firm at 509-765-4451. (509) 765-6019. The Desert Lawn Memorial Monument and Service. This is Desert Lawn Memorial, 1401 South Union, Kennewick, Washington. Jim Mueller, J. Mueller's biological brother at Chapel Falls, and Greenland Memorial, Chapel Falls, Greenland Memorial, Court Street. Got on YouTube URL, confirmation verification security. That's Amy Mueller, J. Mueller, and Jim Mueller, Mueller's biological family member. This is a 1401 South Union, Kennewick, Washington. We got the Bill Gates at 1835 73rd Avenue. Policy regulation of improving a drone. Now the drone access point for J. Mueller's Funeral Home, a drone that flies in the circle area, 360. This policy regulation and service at 1401 South Union, which is Rest Haven, Pentagon, Glendale, Roseville, Membergate, Parkhurst, and also the service at 14 beside J. Mueller himself. LDS Church is right up the road, the steakhouse, and also the steakhouse at the Pasco, Washington Steak Services. This is the Kennewick, Washington. I don't go to Pasco, I go to Kennewick. There's a Mormon church right up on the first stake, and the Vice President, President Council service, the policy, right up the street. And the fire policy regulation of Bill Gates, 1835, the direct deposit for the LDS Church in Gage Boulevard. It's a golden 14-karat gold LDS trunk that's posted on the LDS Mormon Church flyers and brochures. This is 1401 South Union. J. Mueller Funeral Home, the policy regulation and service of a policy regulations of the authorization President Prime Election Donald J. Trump. 45th, 47th President of the United States of America, policy, regulation, and services, bringing authorization at 1401 South Union. Now, Bill Gates took his first photo in policy 1835 73rd Avenue. Bill Gates, the Microsoft component, $20 billion direct deposit. The EFT transact headstones and policy services. Apple iPads 15, 16. Also 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 iPhones. The Samsung policy, regulation, and authorization, Verizon. And also the Benton POD building and the Richland POD building. Bob Ferguson, the Attorney General Office in Kennewick, Washington. Policy, regulation, authorizing services, Mr. Seth. This is Doug Bergman, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hagshaft from the Pentagon and Services Department of Defense. Now, the better half of 1401 South Union, we're doing this because of Facebook, the URL, 1401 South Direct Deposit, EFT transaction, that services, policy, regulations, services. Authorization by the presidential primary election, 45th and 47th. And then this is the confirmation verification of signatures, confirmation verifications on a policy, regulations, services. Bring to a statewide policy, regulations, service. Bring by authorization, carrying authorization, personal income of society, and policy, regulations, services. Him signing the diplomatic service. The direct deposit EFT transaction from a Social Security office at 8131 Klamath, Cincinnati. Policy, regulation, and service bringing administration office carrying out executive order. Now the General of the United States Army Base, Jay Mueller, Amy Mueller, and also Mr. Bob Ferguson, Attorney General, Policy, Regulation of 1401 South Union. Roberta Barela and also Lola Hernandez and her services from the Life Care Center. At the Coloradoville Cancer Society in Richland, Washington, where the birth certificate was a Ray service birth certificate was 10:41 a.m. First name Felix, last name Barela, October 21st, 1972. That's Roberta V. Hernandez, Nebraska, 30 years. Juan M. Barela, Texas, 32 years. And the Cadillac Hospital in service of 10:41 a.m. October 21st, 1972. Now the General of the United States Army, carrying these service implying the increments of society from Larson Air Force Base in Moses Lake, Washington, and also the International Moses Lake International Airport in Moses Lake, the Tri-City Airport, transporting a jet engine from J. Mueller's funeral home all the way to Rhonda Kaiser's funeral home. That's John Luke McKinnon, Carla McKinnon, 704 East Olive, 509-765-4451, fax 509-765-1619. Now Carla McKinnon and John Luke McKinnon, now the policy direct deposit of a jet engine, aviation, for a cremator jet engine for the cremation of service for COVID authorization. This is the General of the Marines that carries this executive order, this policy, regulation, and service administration office for the United States Marine Corps. 2025, January, February, March, April, May, June, and July. This is the General of the United States Army Base of January, February, March, April, May, June, July. Now the United States General of the Army Base of 2025 of January, February, March, April, May, June, July. The General of the Marines of January, February, March, April, May, June, July of 2025. And this is the Melania Trump and Donald Trump in the Oval House, remodeled and policy, regulation, and administration at 141 South Union. We're going to go to Mausoleum, we're going to go Rest Haven, we're going to go Parkhurst, we're going to go to the, of course, the statue where lay down labor, be laid for the labor in service of the statue, in service how you remodeled, and the tank, and the Pentagon, also Rest Haven, Glendale, and Parkhurst. Now Melania Trump, the 50th and 52nd First Lady of the United States of America. This photoshopped at business office at 825 Jadwin, the Richland Kennedy Building in Richland, Washington. The policy regulation of downloading Ryan Lutzkin, Norma Rodriguez, and Eric I. Singer. Their contact number is 7112 West Okanagan Place, 509-735-3591, fax 509-736-3066. This is Donald Trump's official picture that was posted at the federal courthouse, the Social Security office, and also the policy regulation of the Oval House, White House, the Pentagon, and posted on the services and the policy of Donald J. Trump, the 47th President of the United States of America. This is Mar-a-Lago, Florida. Mar-a-Lago, Florida, the policy regulation of implementing the service of authorization. Now the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl. Kansas City won it 2 years in a row. And then this year time around, the 49ers and also the Service Policy Regulation and Service Administration Office carrying authorization in the service of fighting the 49ers, fighting the Kansas City and also the New York Giants, and carries some policy regulations and also the service and policy regulations of Philadelphia Eagles. They're winning and taking the championship home to the White House with the monument service of Donald J. Trump and President of the United States of America, and also the policy regulation authorizing the 47th President of the United States of America. His jersey. Now his jersey posted at the White House of the Philadelphia Eagles winning the Super Bowl. Now the General of the United States Marines, this is his second photo. Now the President's primary election policy regulation authorizing the third and fourth term, and Mrs. Donald J. Trump Jr. running for president. Now Donald J. Trump, him running for president for the United States of America, that's Donald J. Trump Jr. and Donald J. Trump Sr. and Melania Trump. So the Trump organization mentioned the service, and they had some policy regulation authorized. They asked questions. How, when, and where he's going to be running for the President of the United States of America. So we got this second photo of the General of the United States Marine Corps and policy regulation and services. This is Norman J. Manus, United States Marine Corps, policy regulation and service authorization of the United States Marines. The Pentagon officials, Mr. Norman J. Manus, Mr. Andy Miller. The Washington State Prosecutor of Benton County Justice Department, Mr. Ryan Lutzkin, Eric I. Singer, Norma Rodriguez, the judge at the Administration Office at 7112 Okanagan Place, the Social Security Office, the Policy Regulation, Ryan Lutzkin, Norma Rodriguez, Eric I. Singer, Norman J. Manus, Andy Miller, Eric I. Singer, and Policy Regulation Authorization, Mr. Norman J. Manus. This is Ivanka Trump and Donald Trump, the President of the United States, and Air Force One. Now, Air Force One, right figure, the Desert Lawn Memorial and Policy Regulation and Service Administration Office, carrying much of the Havoc Center, and carrying Administration Office and Policy Regulation and Services. Now, the President primary election on the White House, building Air Force One at Larson Air Force Base, United States Army Base, in Moses Lake, Washington International Airport Base in Moses Lake, Washington, called Larson Air Force Base, building Air Force One. Now, the Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and policy making a contract with the White House and policy regulation and immigration.